Hey everybody, and welcome to the Bastards Red Sox postgame show. I am Nick. Want to welcome Terry back in. Terry, how are you doing tonight?
Better than I thought. We had our regular round of podcasts last night, so it was a late night as always on a Sunday, and then follow that up with a West Coast game. But here I am. I do have tomorrow off, so I'll.
Can rest up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight was one of those games where you needed to stay up and watch. It was a special game. Nick Pivetta and the Red Sox got a great 7-0 win, but Nick Pivetta set a record, folks. 6 scoreless, no hit, 13K strikeout performance. Terry, I don't really care. It's the Oakland A's. The guy was unstoppable tonight. Bravo to him. Awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was at work today, and I had to fuel up my truck, and that truck takes propane. I've never heard of that. I've been a truck driver
Interesting.
for a while, and so a guy that's certified needs to fill it. A regular person can't. And he's a Red Sox fan, and I bump into him a lot. And he goes, "Well, what do you think's going to happen tonight? What's the plan?" And I said, "Well, it'll probably be Brennan Bernardino with Nick Pivetta pitching several innings." Sure enough, as the afternoon played out, that was the roadmap for the game. And as far as Nick Pivetta goes, I mean, yeah, it's a cool stat. It's memorable. It might be outside of maybe a relief appearance in 2021, probably one of the highlights of his career. But at the same time, it was Oakland. It is what it is, and the Bluminati is going to act like Nick Pivetta is suddenly a revelation, in 2023. And I'm just not a buyer. I mean, just look at Oakland real quick. Trash pitching, trash hitting, and they have, according to Fangraphs, the Oakland A's have the number 23rd ranked farm system. So Oakland has nothing going for it right now. They're going to be in a purgatory like they've never seen. And we've seen them retool a couple of times over the last decade and a half, and they always bounce right back. They always, well, I shouldn't say always, but often they're, in the wild card race, and
Yep.
rinse and repeat. It's just the Billy Bean era isn't going to yield a championship for Oakland. And but Pavetta struck out 13, so is what it is.
He put that record to bed held by Diego Segui. There's a name for you historians out there tonight, who had the record at 12 back in 1974. Number 3 on the list happened to be the monster Dick Raditz back in 1963. So throwing out some historical names out there in Red Sox Nation tonight on Nick Pivetta, now solely in the lead with 13. It wasn't also just about Nick Pivetta. Yes, he was the star of the show and everything, but the offense, it's now 11 games straight, Terry, where it's 10 hits or more for this crew. Ever since June 30th, record right now, at least for July here, we have 10-2 for July, and they are 1.5 games back behind the Houston Astros. Not bad.
No, I mean, the schedule, played out perfectly for them. I mean, what was it, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, we're 2 games under 500. And then you got Toronto, who on paper is a good team, but we've had their number. We're undefeated against them in 2023, 7-0. And then you've got the first Oakland series, swept them like we should have. Probably going to sweep them again. The Texas Rangers series, though, that was a nice series win for the Red Sox, so I got to give them credit there. But they definitely the matchups were very timely, and suddenly we're 7 games above 500 and probably going to be buyers to some degree at the deadline. I'm not expecting a big splash, and I think the Red Sox front office is already basically putting it out there like, you know, we're not going to do a whole lot. They're getting Chris Sale back eventually. Tanner Houck is throwing. So
Trevor Story at some point.
he'll be back. Yeah. So they're going to get bodies back.
One of the things that I've echoed on a lot of the shows recently is you have to beat up on the teams that aren't any good. Earlier this season, the Red Sox were really struggling against teams, more so in the NL Central, that they just couldn't beat and they couldn't get the job done with. And it seemed at the time that teams that were half decent or relevant, at least, they were doing a pretty decent job with. My biggest worry, dating back a couple weeks back, this was right when I think it was Miami when they came to town, and it was just awful, that series. My whole vision on where this team was going to go is if you beat up on the trash, you get this job done with teams that don't deserve to be in contention, you're gonna find your way in some sort of a race. And that's what they're doing. They're beating up on the poor teams. They're getting the job done. They're getting the wins and building upon a nice little pace right now. Red Sox fans probably should feel pretty good about where this team is at least dating back 3-4 weeks ago.
It's going to get a little tougher once this Oakland series ends. We go back home. We face the Mets, who aren't having a good year, but they can definitely, tattoo your pitching, and they've got pitching that can certainly shut us down. So that could be a tough series. You're also going to have, let's see, another 2 games against Atlanta. That'll be home at Fenway. Best team in baseball right now.
Yep.
And then you go out west.
San Francisco, the
yeah,
Giants. We have them for a 3-game set.
probably be a tough series. So it gets tougher, and we'll see.
They're not all cupcakes like the Oakland A's. They're not all
Right.
slam dunks.
It gets tougher, but I mean, I think reasonably you could expect them to play no worse than 500 ball in that stretch, if not a little bit better.
Last stat I wanted to hit our fans with for tonight is everybody in the starting lineup minus Yu Chang also had a hit this evening. So that was also nice to see you getting production from a lot of different people, including down at the bottom of the lineup. Connor Wong was awesome tonight. And he hit a missile. I want to say it was the 4th or 5th inning. I think that ball's still rolling. Might have rolled all the way back to Fenway. It was a line shot. It was great to see.
Basically,
go ahead.
I was just going to say Connor Wong basically put the game out of reach with that hit. I think he drove in at least 2. Had a run driven in earlier in the game before that. I can't remember if it was a sac fly or not, but
3 hits, 3 ribbies on the night. I mean, that's what you want. If you can get that production from Wong, that's great.
Yeah. Every time Charlie on the main show has a dud, they seem to turn it around because just the other night, last night, I think.
All about Charlie.
Wong was his dud, and the strikeouts have been bad for Wong, but he definitely strung together some hits tonight.
It was great to see. So tomorrow we have another late one. We have a TBA right now. I am hoping for Kyle Barraclough. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. And up against Luis Medina. They had him last time out in the series. He gave up 4 runs on 6 innings. Who do you got for tomorrow?
I have the Red Sox, but if Oakland's going to win a game, this is probably their most winnable. I said that going into the series because Pivetta was obviously going to pitch game 1, and then you got Bayo going game 3. So we'll see. I think I don't know if we're going to see Barraclough, but you'll definitely see some Chris Murphy, and I'm not sure who he'll start, but
got to rest the bullpen. You got Winkowski out there. You got a lot of names that could give you some innings. They're in good shape right now.
Joey Rodriguez as well.
Yep. And he threw great that Sunday before the All-Star break. So we'll be back with you again post-game for tomorrow. Go Red Sox. We hope everybody has a great rest of their night. We'll see.